Hi, this is Dawn Will Always Come, and my name's Virginia. Today I'm going to talk about an experience from my childhood and some things that I take from it and that I apply in life. Today I'm out in nature in the river valley, and mostly because that is relevant to the topic today and the God's creations, right? So when I was 5 years old, I loved playing at my grandparents' house. They lived a few blocks away, and so we were there. We were there a lot. So when I was 5 years old, I remember playing in my grandma's backyard, and there was a swing set, there was a garden, there was a shed, a sandbox, a big pine tree. There's a little wooden well with flowers around it, and then there was some flower beds up by the house, and there was like a cement patio. But part of the decoration of the yard, there were some large rocks around, and one day I decided that this one rock needed to move, that it needed to go to a different location. I thought it will look way better over there. The whole yard would look way better with that rock over there. And so I decided to pick up this rock, and as I got halfway across the yard, I realized this thing is really heavy, and so I went to put it down, and it landed, one of the sharp edges landed right on my finger and cut it open. And I started howling, and I just grabbed onto my finger, squeezed it as tight as I could to try and stop the bleeding, because there was a lot of blood, and I ran to the back door. But I couldn't open the door. I was too busy holding onto my finger, and I didn't dare let go. And so I just stood there crying, and the wooden door was open, so it was just a screen door that was closed. And I just stood there crying, and my grandma came running, and she opened the door, and she got her first aid kit, her Band-Aids and stuff, and they put 3 layers of Band-Aids on my finger, and it was still bleeding through everything. So I should have had stitches, but for one reason or another, I don't think we made it there soon enough or something. Anyway, so now I have a very prominent scar on my finger. All right, so how do I apply this in my life now and in reference to God? Well, I was thinking I knew better. I knew a better place for that rock to go. But our way doesn't work. It almost never works. Like, I had this idea, and I ended up injuring myself because it was not what was supposed to happen. And I didn't know. I didn't know the weight of the rock. I didn't know these different possible outcomes, right? And so we gotta follow the Lord's path. We gotta follow His plan. But we don't always know what that is, obviously. And sometimes as we wait for things to happen in our lives, we think, oh, well, the Lord doesn't realize that I need this right now. Or, where is He? I don't see Him. How come He's not helping me? Well, I think He is. I think He just knows more of our situation than we do, and the people around us, as well as the things that we can do. Sometimes He puts us in situations so we can help other people. Sometimes we need to influence someone else somehow. Sometimes we need to make a new, really good friend, and it will be an awesome support for us for years to come. And so the Lord knows, and He's working on it. Whatever you need, He's working on it. In the background, He's getting all the pieces arranged. So when I couldn't open the door, let's take that for a second. We think of Christ as in the scriptures, He talks about standing at the door and knocking, and that we need to open the door. And I think that Christ in his merciful, wonderful person that he is, I think he would be like my grandmother in this instance. So let's talk about how I can open the door. I had no hands to open the door, so I was unable to open the door. And I think if we think about Christ in the scriptures, he talks about how he's knocking on the door and we need to open the door. But I think because of his personality and his love for us and his mercy and kindness and generosity, I really imagine that if we are in a situation where we're just desperate or we just are really in need or anything, I think if we are even attempting to be close to the door like I was close to the door, and I think he will come running just like my grandma did. He's just such a loving God. So I have this permanent scar on my finger as a reminder not to do things my way. I always thought I knew better. Oh man, even through my teen years, I knew best, but the Lord knows best, and we need to trust in him and just wait and be patient, and good things come. So God's garden, we can just think about if we try and rearrange something in our life, it's like rearranging God's garden. Things are where they are for a reason, and he will change things how he sees fit. Like if the tomatoes need to go next to a certain plant so that they can have more nutrients from that soil, or this other plant will grow better if it's next to the cucumbers, or just different things. The Lord knows. The Lord knows. And there's different seasons too, right? And even in the growing season, there's flowers that bloom in springtime, flowers that bloom in the middle of the summer, flowers that bloom in the end of summer, maybe even in fall. I don't live there where that would happen. But the Lord knows best, and he knows what needs to happen in order to make these other good things happen. If you haven't experienced God's goodness in your life yet, it will come as you are trying to reach closer to him and doing the things that you need to do and obeying the commandments. He's working on it. It's coming. I promise you. I've experienced it lots in my life. And so I just want you to know that dawn will always come, and it will come. Thanks for watching.